just a beginning of a new journey. So allow me welcome or introduce this team to you so that you can also listen to some wisdom, right? So with me here I have a team of, they've just been inaugurated right now and they've taken over now as the leadership of the JLUSO. That is the Luo student organization of within JKUAT, and so we have the chair and his team here. So welcome, and I'd wish to start with you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Kindly introduce yourself and tell us your feeling about today's event.
My name is Pekmeli. Pekmeli is very, very happy just of the occasion that we have just underwent today, the inauguration, that is. I'm really happy. The Luo people came in large numbers. They came to see the new government being in place. I'm also happy the generals were here. They also came to bestow power to the young generation. Thank you very much. I'm very happy for today, and yeah, that's all.
That's all. Bwana SG, yes. Tell us your name and also your feeling about today's event.
So my name is Walter Ariel, the powerful SG for the JLUSO. I was inaugurated today, and I'm very happy, excited to take up my new role, and very ready to serve Luo students of JKUAT.
Now, organizing secretary, am I right?
Yes.
Great. Now, tell us your name and also your feeling about today's event.
Thank you so much. My name is Minister Adak Samuel Pot. That's my name. You can also call me the living stone of the earthquake that killed that stone. The son of Radak, grandson of Radak. Great grandson of Luanda Magere, the rock. Thank you so much. So my feeling about this event today is that the event was a success, a complete success. In fact, it surpassed my expectation. Because normally anything that you do, you have some level of expectation, but my level has been surpassed. And I would really like to say that this team is very courageous. It is very, in fact, without courage, without bravery, this thing wouldn't have come to pass. Because we have been opposed, we have gone through fights, we have had enemies who have fought war with us. But because of the bravery of this team, I'd like to say that this event is a success. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Chair,
yes.
When people hear about organizations such as now the Luo Student Organization, the Akamba Student Organization, like the ethnic-based student organizations, they think about tribe or along the tribal line. I want you to tell us why is it that institutions have such organizations?
Thank you very much for that. You see, we always have to recognize, even in the Constitution, 2010 Constitution of Kenya, upholding, like we have to uphold our communities and tribes. Our family, it originates from our families. It comes to our clans. As it builds up to the tribe level, we must always uphold for this nation to be strong, because we must recognize these individuals. Because as a nation, even as at now, there are those communities based on their traditions and their culture that are bringing something to the economy of this nation. So even when we come together in such institution, of course we are upholding the nation, like the nationhood together with our brothers, but we must also recognize where we have come from. That's why we are always finding it very important to associate ourselves with such organizations, because here we give the voice. It is from here that we can call upon our members of parliament, the political leaders, to come and help us on matters that are affecting us in the school, and in terms of bursaries, in terms of, like as for now, main communities are Nainama, but if we bring on board each and every stakeholder, this thing will be of good importance to all of us. Yeah, that's why it is very important that we must always have such organization in our institution to build us stronger and not to let our tribes go into labor. Thank you.
I'll just pick it from the point where he has left it. If you look at the Luo culture, for instance, and also not only Luo but also Kisi, among other tribes, their cultural actions, cultural activities are fading away. So that today, if within an institution like now JKUAT, if you have a cultural, I don't know even if it exists in JKUAT, but other institutions have it. I've seen it such there, that if you have cultural practices, or let's call it a cultural competition, kind of cultural weeks and cultural competitions, you realize that Luos find it so difficult for them to come up with something to present as their culture, so that for them to get marks and of course even to win. If you look around, you'll realize Masai, the Kalenjin, among others, really uphold their culture, right? So for Luos to come up with this, either we have to read it, or aside reading, we still, such people from such communities, they have to do a lot of research. What do you think should be done to ensure that such cultural diversities and cultural activities don't fade away?
Thank you very much for that question. I think one of the major things that we can do to entrench our culture is to start teaching it amongst children, because when a child is growing up, you find that most children are right now growing up in urban centers where they mix with people from different tribes, and definitely tribe fades away. So the best thing we can do is that a long time ago we had where children would, the female children would meet the grandmother and the male children would meet the grandfather. So if we can incorporate that into our current education system, I think that would be a good plus for our ethnic tribes, because as much as there are some some traditional practices that we try to discard, I think there are some positive traditional practices that should continue amongst us, Generation Z children. For example, the practice of morals, those are the practice of cooking. There are some traditional meals that Luos are very good at cooking. So I think entrenching that into our education system can be very helpful.
Nice. Bwana Organizing Secretary, this is JLUSO. That means an organization of the Luo students within JKUAT. We also have such organizations in other institutions, be it colleges, be it universities, and even the polytechnics, right? Across, and even the TVETs. So what do you think about having one organization that caters across all the institutions, like a national union about Luos, about Kambas, about Gikuyus, but now specifically because you are now the JLUSO, now about Luos, an organization that champions for the rights, the culture, and with different objectives, so that we have this leadership here, united with other leaderships from other institutions, and then they have now one key leadership or a board of management up there that is now national. What do you think about that?
I think it's a very good idea, sir. Definitely, what you are saying is one of the things that brought us here. Those are one of the motivations towards creating such an organization, and make sure that we strengthen it enough so that it can be acceptable with other people. For example, Luo students from Kenyatta University cannot even like to interact with the JKUAT Luos if we don't have some kind of value. So you get, that's why we are trying to strengthen this organization so that we can be acceptable, so that we at least can provide some value out there. Forming a national organization, it's a very good thing. That's a perfect idea, and those are some of the things that we are trying to advocate for, and those are some of our plans that we are going to do forward, so that at least we can build a nation, and that building one organization within a country is important in this way. One, it gives people identity. It's not much of tribal, it's only the way the people look at it. This is an idea of giving people identity. Without identity, we become slaves to our desires. Without identity, we become like animals to each other because we don't know what we are. The Maasai community, for example, they are one of the people who have upheld culture in this country. And because of that, tourists are so much attracted to the Maasai because they have upheld that culture and they are like united. Wherever you go, if you find a Maasai, the way they are dressed, you can notice. And because they have upheld that culture, and they have like a national like a symbol. And that's one thing that we want to do. We want to create a symbol, not of anything political or anything manipulative, but a symbol of unity. So that if someone hears about national Luo organization, he hears about unity, he hears about value, he hears about goodwill and bringing power to the people. Thank you.
Nice. Bwana Chair.
Yes.
Different institutions have got so much issues with the organization as this.
Sure.
So what advice do you have, or what do you think students can do, or as the chair of this now organization? And also because you know there are other organizations that resemble this in other institutions that also undergo problems and challenges just the same way you do. What advice do you have for the administration of such institutions?
Okay, basically, for such institutions, even as such organizations are not recognized within the institution, you cannot register this as an organization like clubs in the institution. But the only advice is that let them stop maneuvering around our identity. Whether they accept it or not, we always still identify ourselves. And when we identify ourselves, it is always power. It is in this identification that we even help ourselves. You realize this, because when we collect ourselves together from a specific, let's say, of a constituency, or as JLUSO itself, because we are going to look for our leaders. You get our political leaders, constituency leaders, we are going to look for them. So that it is here that we are building ourselves. So such institution accept, because at the end of the day, in as much as we are going to do away, we are trying to do away like a nation altogether and everything, we are not yet. Like, this is the thing. We just have to recognize our tribes. Recognizing our tribes does not mean that we don't recognize nationhood. Even if you go to Tanzania, people are preaching of Tanzania too much because of the nationhood of Raia and the rest. Those people still recognize themselves in their tribes. No, it is just that it does not come to the surface that much to the people outside the nation, outside Tanzania. But kila mtu ni Tanzania. Even here, we can all be Kenyans, but we will still be identified. I will remain a Luo. My children will remain Luos. In as much as you tell me I'm a Kenyan, I accept I'm a Kenyan. For instance, if the students who comes, the international students who go to study, let's talk of in Canada, they have their Kenya organization. There is nobody intimidating them. There is nobody blackmailing them. It is the same thing. We also don't want to be blackmailed. The same way they are being recognized as Kenyans, it is the same way we want to be recognized as those studying in JKUAT. There is nothing else. It will not bring about anything of disruption. It will not bring disunity in. The moment this thing is recognized, even the institution itself will be peaceful. Like leadership, like the political leadership of students in the institution will be very peaceful. They will be, in fact, the ballot system, like it will be back, because even this delegate system, these things were just brought in because of things to do with tribes and all that. But the moment we eliminate, the school will be very peaceful. We identify ourselves with our tribes, and that is the way to go. Sure. Thank you.
Make us try to understand that JLUSO is not based on tribal aspect, but upholding the Luo cultural aspects, and also ensuring that it is one team, one family, so that if you come from Migori, Kisumu, across the country, because we have Luos that are born across the country. So make us understand, why do you want this JLUSO to be recognized with the institution as a club, and also as something that is powerful and of necessity to the institution?
Yes, thank you very much for that. JLUSO, I consider it an association or an organization of like-minded individuals who have identified problems which they want to solve. The main factor for forming JLUSO, it is not because all of us are Luos. It is because Luos are facing some challenges of which we want to address as leaders. They say that leaders show the way. We are not followers. So when you see a gap somewhere, you try and solve it, you try and fix it. So when we came up with this organization, we were facing very many challenges as Luos in this institution. So that's why we decided to come together. You cannot say it is because we are of the same ethnic tribe, because we can still socialize based on just the fact that we come from the same place. But this thing, it's not only for Luos from Siaya, it is not from Luos from Kisumu, it is all over the country, Luos from Mombasa, Luos from Nairobi. I can give you a perfect example. Let's say we have a Luo coming from Nairobi, probably Roysambu constituency, but the homeland is in Rongo constituency in Migori. Such a person does not know the perfect protocol of the process to apply for a bursary, even though the parents or that particular student is a voter back in Rongo constituency. He votes in Rongo, but comes to Nairobi and lives in Nairobi. So such a student, when he finds that there's an organization called JLUSO, we can tell him the way, we can show him the way, and even assist him in bursary application. So I feel this one, it is a solution to problems facing not only Luo students. Our voice is for every student. Though we identify as Luos, but even when Kikuyus are facing a problem, Gema, Masai, whatever tribe, will always rise up and show them the way.
Well put. Sir, what do you think can happen if, because you've now embraced this thing as Luos, and you've embraced it and made it a union or an organization. If the other students from other ethnic groups also identify themselves and accept to have such organizations, what do you think how can it maybe bring about unity among the student fraternity so that we have Luos, Kikuyus, Masais, Kisis, lawyers, and every other tribe united as students from JKUAT, students from KU, and of course students across the country? How can it play, or what role can it play when it comes to unity of students?
Yes, thank you. So, this is to say that having a tribal group doesn't mean that now the group just endorses only the tribalism part. This is like, you know, I'm a Luo whether I'm in an organization or not. I'm still a Luo. So having this group is like bringing the people who are Luos, bringing them together so that we can learn from each other, so that we can have that unity between ourselves. We can arrange our house as Luos. Arrange your house. After arranging your house is when you can invite a guest to come to your house. When you live in a filthy house, there is no means that you'll invite a mgeni. Wezita mgeni kwa nyumba yako kama hujapanga nyumba. So after arranging our house, we move on to other organizations. For example, the Mulembe for the lawyers. We bring them on board because they also have their organization. It's good because now we have differences. We have them. Whether we agree to it or not, we have differences. So forming an organization, we have the organization for Luos. We meet with the organization for lawyers, for example. With that interaction, having known what we are made of, having the lawyers having known what they are made of, now we can meet and interact and say that you do this, we don't, we do this, you don't. But we can unite and actually live by them, because by the way, if people aren't different in this world, the world wouldn't be happy to live in. It wouldn't be a good thing to live in. So differences must be there. But the ability to agree to those differences and embrace them and use them to our benefits is where the key is, the key to living a good life. So that's how the unity will come. We unify ourselves, the other people unify themselves, then we interact and then bring that unity.
Nice.
Just on that question,
yes.
You see, we are trying to preach matters to do with unity in the university itself, and even based on our cultures and everything. Like in our inauguration ceremony, we just have in the last 2 hours, about 2 hours. You see, the Mulembe nation was here in good numbers. The Gemba nation was here in good numbers. The Kutitu was here, while one of them was here, the treasurer, or the current treasurer of the JKUAT, he was here. Meaning, such is recognized. You get to doing activities. Like we always have a derby match between the lawyer and the Luos. When we get there, we interact, we socialize. You know, this is socializing beyond academics things, yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are some of the things that when installed in us, will promote us and will take us somewhere. Even when this country was from independence, when you are coming into independence, you will realize that there was somebody leading the lawyer, there was somebody leading the laws, there was somebody leading the Kikuyu, there was somebody leading the Akamba, there was somebody leading people from Mombasa and like the Swahili people. And when they came together, that's when they took power. And even the card, which was also being promoted by Ronald Ngala, do not got this thing. Because there was that unity of tribe leaders coming together. You get, that's what we are fighting for. Because when it is brought to, on board, because we were here, they were all here, each and every person was happy with their opinion, we are doing our things. And they want us to associate with them in their also ethnic groups, because they have them. The Gamba just have held their meeting last week in school, and it was fine, it was well. Molembe always have their meetings. In fact, they even held an arambe, to help their students. Those are the things JLUSO is also fighting for. It is a unity in the student fraternity. Yes.
Well put. Now, your final question before I go around and then come back for your final thoughts.
Yes.
Your final question. Can you please list for us some of the activities the new office is planning to do so that the JLUSO is great?
Basically, there are a lot of activities that are supposed to be done. But for this regime, because we cannot fulfill everything, we must leave the battle, because the battle is still on. Yeah. One of the things that we must fight is unity. Before we talk of activities, okay, activities we can do, but unity will be one thing. Trying to unite. How are we going to unite? It is these activities. We must have marches. We can do an inter-counties. You get inter-county within the Onagi people. We come together. We can even do inter-years. We always even do the students and the alumni, groupings coming together and socializing. We can have a hike, when we were at home in Lake Region, we always used to pay a lot of money to come and see some of the features you find around in Mount Kenya and the rest.
Yeah.
Here we are now near them. Why don't we just pay that 400, go there, hike, build ourselves together, make the bonds, Yeah. It is going to be wow. And also, Onagi night. This one you're not going to spare. Personally, as you want. You're not going to spare this. You get? You're not going to spare this. We must bring Onagi night.
Yeah.
Here is where we just come together. Maybe if semester is just about to end, just relax. As we are going to attack the exams, we just relax. Just share, get some rumba, even if it is Angla, do it better, man. Your brain to relax, and preach the unity within yourself. And also uniting with KU is something very strong we are going to do. The KU leaders were here. It is something we are going to do. We have been attending their meetings, they have also been coming, and we're saying like the bond should continue. We're going to organize some activities with them. I just talked with the chair, he talked of, we can even organize a tournament, where we can even compete over some cup, so that a winning team can be getting something, Such things we are going to organize, because those are the things which are going to bring people together. We must also identify talents and promote them and uplift them even to the national level.
Nice.
Apart from that, we must also support our students based financially. We must visit some of these political offices, so that we can support. The moment you're a leader, you must think overall, like above each and every person you are leading. Because if they are thinking above you, then how are you leading them? You must be above them. Let us bring our leaders together. Because our leaders also, when they come together, we socialize with them, things will be very easy. Getting job will be something very easy. Thank you.
Nice. Senior.
Yes.
It's very unique to find brown law. Very unique. I had one in the whole institution then when I was a student. A guy from Suba, we called him God. He used to say that he was the only man actually who could pocket while naked. So anyway, so finding a brown law is very difficult, and that's great. I have one here now.
Yes.
So what generally made you gain interest in being a leader? Because I realized you applied, it was a process. So what made you gain interest in being a leader for this union?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. I'll refer back to what I said. When you are born a leader, and I believe I was born a leader because Back in primary, I was a bell ringer in class 6. I became a class prefect in high school from 3, and from 4 I became the treasurer for the students' council. And then coming to JKUAT, I was also chosen as the school representative for School of Mathematics. So when you are a leader, you are someone who shows the way and you give the way, you know. So when I first heard of our organization, Blue Pins, it was in a mess, and we cannot lie about that. So you know, when you are somewhere and you see some things are not going the right way, you take over, show them the way. No, leadership is about confidence.
Yes.
It's about believing in yourself and working for the betterment of others. So what really spiked my interest is because when I became a school representative for School of Mathematics,
Yes.
I could see some students really suffering, and I knew there is something that can help them. These organizations specifically can help them. You know, when you are a school rep, it's not easy to get the attention of maybe an MP back home or maybe a governor back home. But this organization gives you a better platform for you to air your views. You know, it gives you a better platform to help others. So that was really what spiked my interest to vie for this seat. And when we went for a race, I won because obviously though I had a worthy competitor, but I was the better winner. So I just thank the people who elected me to serve them, and we will surely serve.
Nice. One question for you, Sini. You know you're a student. Of course, from home, there are a lot of things people do to make a living. When you're here, you are limited. In as much as there are a lot of things you can do, but you're limited. And of course, your study and everything you do in school is directly affected by the government and the activities government do. What is your call to the government? I allow you to look at them directly.
Now this is like a challenge to me.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that the government really need to intervene and look into the educational system so that at least they can give at least a platform. They can give the students some kind of opportunity where they can actually not just sink in their books completely, but they can at least do their books at the same time, do their thing. You know, there's something that I always say, that to be great, you don't just have to read books, you have to write a book. At least you have to bring something to the world. So we are in school, you are all into your books. But now, there's a piece of your puzzle so that your life can be complete. You have to be creative, you have to create something to the world. That's how people become great. You don't just become great by consuming what the world gives to you, but actually giving something to the world that people can consume. So the government should explore this and actually create opportunities. For example, in schools, the government can create like 2 working days. We have 5 days of a week, the official days. The government can create 2 days. For example, if it's Thursday and Friday, they create the days that the days cannot be, if you have lessons, the lessons cannot be scheduled on the day. You get? Then with those 2 days that they are provided, they give opportunities. Instead of offering tenders to highest bidders, they can offer it to students, because there are things that people can do. Campus students, the person who invented M-Pesa came from campus. So that is to say that the campus has great minds. If you explore this, we'll have a better nation, because here is where creativity is born. Creativity is born in the campus with a student. A small mind has the capacity to be creative, to create something. So the government that's why I really thank the government for incorporating the CBC educational system. But I really need the government to look into this and really try to create opportunities in any way they can, even if it's as simple as listening to the comrades. Just listen to the comrades. We have a national union of university students. Listen to them. They have pleads. They have been pleading with the government. Please give us this. Instead of giving us help, you can give us jobs. You can give us job opportunities where I can create thrice as much money that I earn from help. That one will be of so much importance, because help, when someone receives that money, and maybe it's a Thursday, the next day is Friday, and he goes to partay. You get? But if the government, instead of offering help, they create opportunities where you struggle to get some money, I think it will be a little bit hard for someone to overspend or waste the money that he has worked for. For example, right now, the people conducting this event, they are working for it. It's so hard for that person to use that money for things that don't benefit them. So I think the government should listen, the government should create opportunities, and the government should be available to listen. Because if they want leaders, if for example the government wants what's best for the citizens, they have to grow that. If you want maize, it's not always wise always going to the market to purchase maize. For example, purchasing mines outside Kenya, for example, going for the Cuban doctors. Why don't you grow that seed? Grow that seed in the campus so that you can get a doctor. Create opportunities, create locum opportunities for the medical students, for example, so that every weekend they go to the hospital, practice, get their money, and come back. Create those opportunities for those boys and girls. So I think that one will, with other things that maybe I cannot remember right now, because that question I did not sleep on that. So maybe if we get some time, and maybe write down some of the questions that we will have for the government, and the government give us an ear to listen to us. We'll offer the questions, and we'll offer some of the ideas that we think we should give, the government should use to better students.
You say money is a factor.
Money is a big one. In fact, if I have not eaten, I cannot trade.
Sure.
If I have not eaten, I cannot even be happy. You can get people maybe having difficult lives, maybe having supplementaries, just because of that money. You get, when we are in campus, people come from different backgrounds. You get a person driving even a Vitz, even if it's a small car, driving a Vitz, but you don't. I mean, you lose confidence.
Sure.
Man, you lose confidence. You'll feel like you are not good enough. You'll feel like maybe the campus life is not destined for you, and you become depressed. Money brings depression, because without money there's nothing you can do. Without money I will not be wearing this shoe that I'm wearing here. So money is a big factor.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
For sure, let me tell you the truth. If not for time, then this discussion can go on and go on, because I've realized you're very wise people. You have a lot of skills and, of course, a lot of knowledge that you'd wish others also to have. I'll call you again to discuss many things that cut us across the student life, right? Because this kind of discussions are very important, and they can shape. Today you can talk and speak of it as if it is a joke, but it is really helping somebody out there. Right. Now, because of time, allow me just to take your final thoughts before we conclude. Mr. Chair, your final thoughts.
My final thought is that JLUSO is a working government. I'm very happy of the team that have come into power with. Very strong, as you can see from the SG and the organizing. A big part of us is not here, but we have represented them well. That is the big question to the people who have bestowed power, or rather leadership in us. Be ready for the good things. Let us join ourselves together. Let us work and build ourselves, because that is the only thing. At the end of the day, we must make a change. A leader without followers is not a leader. I am happy people came, and they are happy of the power that is going to lead them. That's all for today. I just wish and pray that God to help us, bestow wisdom upon us, so that as we lead our people, Let us lead them with a lot of wisdom, being very careful with them, because we are handling our peers, very sensitive people, so that at the end of the day, when our term will come to an end, we deliver it safely to the next leaders. Thank you very much for having me here.
Nice. Your final thoughts, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. I think first it's a privilege. I'm getting to speak after the chair, so I'll utilize it effectively. So I think it was a nice event. Actually, today was also my birthday, so being my birthday, I was also thank you. So I also got a new position today, and mine is to thank those who came for the inauguration, thank those who believe in us, and we will surely deliver. And from now henceforth, you can call us the Luopin Generals. Thank you.
Nice. Babwan, organizing sake.
Yes.
Your final thought?
My final thought is this, and it's I'd really not like to call it my final thought, because this is for today.
Yes.
I'll call it my thought for today.
Yes.
Because we have thoughts, we are thinking about how to better Luos, not just in JKUAT, but everywhere. I feel like this thing should be like mud in my shoes, so that anywhere that I go, any house that I walk in, I leave the footprints with the mud on my foot. Yeah. This mud is the unity and the love that we want to spread to the world. And I would like to say this: if you believe in yourself, go for what you want with strength and sagacity, thinking to the capacity, with tenacity, you are going to achieve. If it were not for the confidence and for the bravery, just as I said, and for the goodwill and the belief in ourselves, for example, the chairman, this chair, he may be smaller than me, I'm kind of big, but he's bigger than me in wisdom. And with that wisdom comes the belief, self-belief. And with that, if you believe in yourself, anything that you want will come true, so long as you also engage God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Generals. He told me from now I can call you JLUSO Generals. Thank you so much, Generals. It was nice having you. I've really learned a lot from you people. I've heard, and of course, you know, when you're keen and listening to people who are ready and willing to give out what they have to help other people, that is so interesting. I told you when I was a student, we used to, actually we also had a team like this. Currently, we have 3 different memberships. We have primary membership, those are the students who are within. We have secondary, of course, where now I belong, the alumni. And then we have, it's called the associate membership. The associate are now people like you, who are interested in law affairs and law student affairs. So when you visit the institution, you visit this group, you are the associate members. Sure. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's something good, and I'm so interested in seeing this become a big organization, not only in JKUAT, but across the country. And even, if possible, across East Africa, because we have Luos in Uganda, we have Luos in Tanzania. Sure. Yes. The Cholis. And even in Sudan. Of course, like across. So I'll still keep calling you. We'll have different conversations so that at least the wisdom that you have can also reach other people. You know, I've detected a lot of wisdom here. And remember, wisdom can kill you. Thank you so much. You know,
I would like to congratulate you, man. You know how to do your thing.
Yeah.
You know how to. You know, before you get wisdom, also lies in how to get that wisdom from someone. Someone who is not wise will not know how to gain wisdom from another guy, from another person. Yeah. So that is wisdom, and I'd like to thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. That was it from us today, and for sure, this is just part of the team that is coming in to represent the Luo student organization. They call it the JLUSO. So friends outside there in all the institutions, the colleges, the universities, all the TVET institutions, uphold, accept, and of course, have it in mind, you are a Luo, you are a Meru, you are a Kikuyu, no matter what happens. We should not encourage tribalism, but we should encourage our culture. And therefore, ensure from wherever you are, kindly ensure that your culture is upheld, your tribe is never forgotten. Because if we are not careful, we are going to lose this culture. Because we keep embracing the white culture, the Western culture, and we forget that we are Africans. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye-bye. My name is Kwach.
Thank you very much, Baba.